In the beginning, after Adam and Eve were cast out of the Garden of Eden, life was no longer perfect. The ground was hard, the world was uncertain, and humanity now lived with the consequences of sin. But hope remained. Eve gave birth to her first son and named him Cain, saying, "With the help of the Lord, I have brought forth a man." Later, she gave birth to another son, Abel. Two brothers, two destinies, one tragic story that would change humanity forever. As they grew older, Cain became a farmer, working the soil with his hands. Abel became a shepherd, caring for flocks of sheep, and one day, both brothers came before God. When the time came to worship, each brother brought an offering to the Lord. Cain brought fruits and crops from the ground he had worked so hard to cultivate. Abel brought the firstborn of his flock, the best portions, the finest he had. But something unexpected happened. God looked with favor upon Abel and his offering, but Cain's offering was not accepted. Why? The Bible tells us Abel offered his sacrifice in faith, with sincerity and devotion, while Cain's heart was not right before God, and Cain became very angry, his face fell. His heart burned with jealousy. God saw the anger growing inside Cain and spoke to him with mercy. "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door, it desires." Both brothers gave offerings, but only Abel's was accepted. Lesson: it's not enough to do the right thing externally. Intention and sincerity matter. This applies today in worship or religion, helping others, work ethics, relationships. A good action done with a bad heart loses its value. The sun hung low over the quiet field. Moments earlier, anger had erupted into violence. Cain stood over his brother, breathing heavily, his hands stained with blood. Abel lay motionless on the ground. The first human life had been taken. Silence filled the air, but heaven had seen everything. No crime, no matter how hidden, escapes divine justice. Then came the voice, not thunder, not fire, but a question that pierced Cain's soul. "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain's heart pounded, but instead of confession, he chose defiance. "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But truth cannot be buried, and the ground itself testified, "The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the earth." The crime was exposed, the judgment had come. God pronounced the consequence. The ground Cain once farmed would no longer yield crops for him. He would become a restless wanderer on the earth, a man without roots, a life without peace. Cain realized the weight of his actions. "My punishment is more than I can bear," he cried. He feared others would kill him in revenge. But even in judgment, mercy appeared. God placed a mark on Cain, a sign of protection, so that no one would kill him. Justice had spoken, but grace had not disappeared. He walked away from his family, away from the land he once knew, away from the presence of God. Exile is not just a place, it is a condition of the soul. The murderer became a wanderer, and the weight of guilt followed him wherever he went. Back home, grief consumed the first family. Adam and Eve had lost a son to death, and another to exile. The consequences of sin had reached deeper than ever before. Violence had entered humanity, but hope was not gone. Later, Eve would give birth to another son, Seth, and life would continue, even after tragedy. God's plan moved forward. Cain eventually settled in a land called Nod, There he built a city, he had children, civilization began to grow. But history would never forget, the first murder came from jealousy, the first violence came from anger, and the first exile came from sin. Yet humanity continued, learning, struggling, choosing between good and evil.
If you enjoy this story, please subscribe to this channel. God bless you.